Just happened now.
So how do you know that one's taken place? If you don't know who done
We
it,
can hear it on the call.
no, no one at the time, and that you're now lying. You're lying because I was filming at the time when that call apparently would have come through.
Caught it. You've just said on your
No,
camera
yeah,
you've
I've caught that. I
swearing
haven't. No, it would have been them because it hasn't come from me. So if there is swearing on this footage,
yeah.
The interaction begins with a clear contradiction. An officer claims that a public order incident has taken place, yet cannot identify who committed it. That immediately raises a legal issue, because if no suspect is identified and no clear evidence is presented, the basis for police intervention becomes questionable. And within seconds, that claim is directly challenged. Footage courtesy of Bear Britain Audits. Full credit in the description, go check out their channel.
So all I've done today is make some video footage, and I've stuck to everywhere that I'm allowed, apart from apparently Amazon, where I wasn't allowed to step on their site.
Who's allowed you permission on the site?
No one's allowed me permission. This is all public, bro. Don't treat me like I'm silly. Yeah, I do this a lot.
You just said,
Again, identify for me as well, please.
Identify
Before you do,
myself,
you
it's on
do.
my collar.
Okay, what's yours as well, please?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Have you told me that your body-worn camera's on? No, you haven't. That's part of your policy. You can clearly see that I'm filming, bro.
Okay, and you can clearly see that that's it.
No, I can now.
I don't have to notify you.
You do. It's part of your policy.
No, it's not.
It's part of your policy. This has been proven before that it's part of your policy.
Stop.
At this stage, the individual explains he has been filming in public areas, something that is generally lawful in the UK. There is no restriction on filming buildings from public land, unless specific security legislation applies. So the concern being raised here is not supported by any clearly stated legal power.
I don't want to speak to you, yeah? I'm going about doing my civil right. I'm allowed to go around and film in public areas.
Allowed. Who has allowed you?
My rights as a human being in this country.
And they have a right to know who is filming or taking photographic images of the building.
No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Oh my God. Please, mate. Please don't. Don't do this. Don't do this to yourself. I'm literally just on my way to taking someone to professional standards for exactly the same thing. Okay. Trying to trump up charges that aren't there. Yeah, which is no. Listen, no, I'm not saying that you are. You're trying to tell me though.
You're not telling me what has happened. You're just saying you're doing your civil right. Doing what? Taking images.
Filming the building.
What,
the building. Amazon. Look at this place. It's huge.
I know it's huge, but why? What's the reason why?
Because I like to. I don't have to tell you that.
No, I'm just trying to understand why.
But I know.
Now the discussion shifts toward rights. The officer suggests people have a right to know who is filming them, but legally, that is not accurate. In public spaces, there is no general expectation of privacy and no automatic right to demand identification from someone filming.
But I'm going to stick to it. I don't have to tell you that. And that's, you can say that being as awkward.
How am I supposed to ascertain what's happening?
You don't have to ascertain anything until I've committed the
broken. I've had an incident that's been
have I committed an illegal offence?
Well, as far as what we've heard on the call is that there's been swearing and shouting, so I need to know who that's been coming from.
Those down there, and the video's got it to prove it.
Right, and can you show me that?
Yes, I can.
Because if you're involved in that and you've been shouting and swearing, that is an offence. That is something I need to ascertain what has happened.
Of course. Hey, you know this camera? You see this camera? It's an independent witness. Yeah, so that's another reason I film, because when stuff like this happens, yeah, when people try and say stuff happened that didn't happen, we can now go back to this footage and see, can't we?
What we've heard on the call is that there's been lots of shouting and swearing going on.
Right,
so we need to ascertain what that's in relation to. So if people, that's called public order, that is an offence, yeah? And I'm here to try and ascertain what has happened. You're not being very forthright with me, and I understand why, because
I don't have to. Because I don't have to.
Yeah, but I have to ascertain what's happened.
Yeah, but I don't have to still tell you, bro. This is what I'm, like, until I commit an offence, yeah? And you're saying a public order offence, yeah?
An offence has been committed.
Where is the person that feels harassed, alarmed and distressed? Where are they?
Here, the officer introduces a public order offence. But this creates another issue. Under the Public Order Act, there must be evidence of harassment, alarm, or distress, usually involving a specific person. When asked who the complainant is, there is no clear answer. That weakens the entire justification.
You swore to when you took up your job. Wasn't that under common law? Most of that's under common law, isn't it?
That wasn't under common law.
Bro, my granddad, yeah, was a very well-respected inspector in the police force, yeah? Right. I don't care, you guys still swear by it. I know that...
swear by common law. There are other pieces of legislation that we swear by.
Okay.
I'm still trying to ascertain what has happened. Now, what I'm saying
and I've told you, what's happened is I've done some filming and they haven't liked it.
And I'm telling you, we are aware that a public order incident has taken place.
No, how are you then? So who was it by?
So I don't know that. I'm trying to ascertain that from yourself. You were reported to be involved. I've come here. I'm trying to ask you what has happened. Now,
so how do you know that one's taken place? If you don't know who done it...
We can hear it on the call.
No, no one at the time. And that you're now lying. You're lying because I was filming at the time when that call apparently would have come through.
You've just said on your
No,
camera,
yeah, I've caught that I haven't. No, it would have been them because it hasn't come from me. So if there is swearing on this footage...
Yeah.
This is where the situation begins to unravel. The officer maintains that an offence occurred, yet relies only on a vague report. At the same time, the individual points out that his own footage contradicts that claim. So now we have two competing narratives, one based on assumption and one backed by recorded evidence.
I ain't stupid. This happened to me the other day. This happened to me the other day, bro. Like I say, to be honest, I want to go about my business. Am I detained? Am I detained? Am I detained?
I just need to know what's happening.
Yeah, and I'm asking, am I detained? So I'm free to go. Am I free to go?
Well, I need to confirm your identity. So
you don't need to confirm my identity. I don't have to give it you till till an offence has been committed. I do not have to give it you.
Has been committed.
No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. You turning up and saying an offence has been committed doesn't mean one's been committed.
No, it hasn't. It's been committed, and you've just confirmed it by saying you've got footage of it on your phone.
Oh, wow.
You've literally just confirmed by saying I've got footage of that offence happening, a public order offence.
Okay.
Haven't you? You've just said that.
Okay. I said
so
actually. What I actually meant in that. What I meant in that is the footage here will show that I didn't at any point swear. The guy started going crazy at me, and I did actually say to him, "Bro, what you're doing now is a public order offence."
So potentially,
that's what I said to him. So you probably heard me say that on the call.
The focus now shifts to identification. The officer requests personal details, but does not clearly establish legal grounds. Under Police and Criminal Evidence Act 1984, a person is only required to provide details in specific circumstances, such as arrest or certain offences. At this point, those conditions have not been clearly met.
A public highway, yeah?
Yeah.
It's just the issue becomes when you trespass, obviously that's a civil issue.
Of course.
And even more so if you're trying to get into buildings.
Of course.
So we just want to make sure that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. And we spoke to this chap here. Yeah, fantastic. Nathan, innit? Nathan here.
Yeah.
Hey, promotion for you, buddy. I will. I'll email him and say. I'll email him and say.
You're, in agreement that we're not going to be going on anyone else's land.
No. But I haven't. Like I say, this guy seems to think he's gonna. I don't know. You're not having my details. You're not having them. You're not having them. You might be able to take my mates.
Go over there and speak to them and take
don't. I've just told you I don't want you to.
Right, fine. On your way then.
If I'm free to go, I'm free to stay. So I won't be going nowhere, sir. So stop,
Notice the change in tone. The officer moves away from firm assertions and begins softening the approach. This often happens when legal footing becomes uncertain. The initial confidence fades, replaced by a more cautious stance.
Trying to talk down to me.
Stand here pointing that in my face.
Well, then disappear. You're the one that's approached me today, not the other way round. I don't have to. I don't have to. It's a public place, and it's up to you to make privacy in a public place. So if you'd like to make privacy, then I suggest you maybe get in your two shiny cars with flashy lights, right, and have a conversation. But I will stay here for as long as I want. Listen, if you were to listen, bro, I don't. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. You haven't been fair with me. This video will show that you haven't been fair with me. No, you haven't.
I've not been fair with you. I've just asked you nicely to go on your way.
No, on your way. I don't have to go on my way. If I'm free to go, I'm free to stay.
Do what?
Exactly, I will. And you just worry about upholding the law.
This is a key logical moment. If you are free to go, you are also free to stay. That statement exposes a contradiction in police control, because without lawful grounds to detain someone, there is no authority to direct their movement either.
Who shouldn't be talking to people like that regardless? He shouldn't. Exactly, man. Do you know what? I'm going to leave here, me having a little bit more respect for you now.
I'm not trying to be difficult, I'm just trying to...
They were being difficult.
I'm just trying to deal with what's in front of me. And until you tell me what's happening...
It's annoying though, yeah, when you get approached in the way you do, yeah? And I could quite easily have called you, yeah, and gone the whole public up... Come on, mate. You need these resources are better served elsewhere.
Have I not been fair with you?
I don't think so at the beginning. You still wanted my details, and you still want them now, don't you, really?
Just to put it on the log to say that this person's involved.
But you're like robots. It's like, I want your name. You don't need my name. You don't need them. You may like them, but you don't need them. So just say, I'd like them, but you don't need them. You don't need them. So please don't lie to me.
The interaction concludes without enforcement action. No details are obtained. No offense is clearly established. Which raises an important question: why was the situation escalated in the first place? This interaction highlights a pattern that appears frequently in public audit encounters. An initial report is treated as fact, without verification. Authority is asserted early, before legal grounds are clearly established. And when those grounds are questioned, the justification begins to shift. From a legal standpoint, several issues stand out. First, the claim of a public order offence lacks a clearly identified victim. Under UK law, that is a critical element. Without it, the threshold is difficult to meet. Second, the request for identification is not supported by a defined legal power. Under the Police Reform Act, 2002, Section 50, details can only be required when antisocial behaviour is reasonably suspected. That threshold is never clearly demonstrated here. Third, the reliance on vague reports rather than observable facts creates a fragile basis for intervention. And this is where the core issue lies. Not in the act of policing itself, but in how quickly assumptions are turned into authority. Because once authority is asserted without evidence, it is no longer being guided by law, but by perception. And as this interaction shows, when that perception is challenged, the entire position begins to collapse.